Hi Gemini, welcome. So Gemini, this is going to be a reading. I am switching up my format a little bit this month just to try something new, keep it fresh. But my readings are timeless, so I just trust whenever you find this, that's when it's for you. And let's get into it. So Gemini, when I was meditating for your reading, I was getting messages about some sort of ending here, and out of that ending, so to speak, is coming like some sort of new inspiration, right? And maybe even a newfound freedom. So I feel like you may be energetically released from something, whether on a karmic level or in the physical. But I actually feel this to be a really positive change or transition for you. Also, if you've been feeling a sense of exhaustion, okay, or maybe just not really feeling like yourself, I also feel a lift in that energy for you, and this more creative vibe coming through. So I love that. And then while I was talking there, I had two cards come out, 10 of Cups and the 8 of Wands. So this is highlighting home and journeys. So, yeah, I love the 10 of Cups too, because it's a really beautiful, I don't know, homey type of vibe, if you know what I mean. The 8 of Wands can also represent communication. So you may be getting communication or news, or, you know, having a dialogue or good conversations with somebody important to you, or it's just simply the energy allowing for an opening for that, okay? But I do feel progression and movement forward. So I love this, especially as it pertains to home, okay? Or possibly family and relationships. So let's get some more cards out and see, Gemini, what else we've got coming through for you. For my Geminis, you have the card of, ooh, oh my goodness, sorrow, participation, and intensity. What is participation about? Consciousness. Okay. So, yeah. Remember I was saying earlier, Gemini, that you may have been, you know, maybe going through some things or just not feeling yourself lately. Some of you may be battling with depression or anxiety or things that are just making you feel off kilter. And it could be very intense, right? I do feel like the energy has been super intense just for everyone, for the whole collective, maybe for the past week or so. So you may have also felt that energy. And if nothing else, it just feels like an intense amount of pressure or emotions being put on you, or you putting it on yourself, possibly. But then you also have the card again of groups and participation. This could also represent the home and consciousness, okay? So to me, consciousness is like becoming consciously aware of something that maybe you were unfamiliar with, or that was unknown to you. And this could be in regards to a relationship or a group of people or the home. But yeah, there's quite a bit going on here, and let's go deeper and see what else my Geminis need to know. Gemini. So, let's see. For Gemini, I actually want to use my new cards. Yeah. Well, they're not new, but I recently found these. And so I forgot that I had them. I haven't seen them in like years, so I'm so happy to use them again. So let me use these. What does Gemini need to know? Okay. 5 of Swords. King of Cups. This is almost identical, by the way, to the Taurus reading. Some of you could have Taurus in your chart, or be on the cusp of Taurus, or possibly dealing with one. The 7 of Cups and the 2 of Wands. So on an emotional level, Gemini, there's a lot brewing here, if you will. To me, The Five of Swords can be a really critical, self-critical, and critical of others type of energy. It could also be like this down and out, like feeling off type of vibe. And this is showing up again on an emotional level, but it could also be that you're connecting with somebody who is just not themselves lately or not feeling like themselves, especially if you're dealing with a water or an air sign. But it is a general, so it could be any sign. There does seem to be some confusion here, you know, as like how to best handle something or like which direction to go into. And yet the universe or the cards are indicating that you do have choices here, Gemini. And not one choice more right or wrong than the other. It's just simply asking yourself which one would feel best to me, right? So I feel like there's some sort of contemplation going on here on an emotional level. And I feel this to be in regards to home or family or relationships, but, you know, apply it as it will. Let's go a bit further and see, what is this choice about? Okay, the Eight of Cups. I'm going to get really specific here, and I don't usually do that in general readings, but I feel there is a specific message here. For those of you Geminis who are in toxic or abusive relationships that are teetering on whether to, I guess, leave the relationship or stay, the encouragement is to know your worth and to, at minimal, set boundaries. But this is walking away. This is leaving. Or leaving something alone or something of that nature, right? And I don't usually get that specific again, but I feel that for some of you. So let's go further. Palace of Cups. And the Three of Wands. So I feel a lot of emotion in this reading, and that's kind of unlike messages that I typically get in Gemini readings because you guys are air signs. Not saying you don't have emotions, but you could also be dealing with a very emotional person or a water sign or have that in your chart. But I'm getting all like love and family and emotional energy here. Some of you feel defeated in a connection, you know, where possibly, you know, you need to walk away or make some sort of choice here about what is best for you. And it sounds so cut and dry, you know, when people give advice on love, because they're not the ones in love, you know, or connected to that family member or that child or whatever. But it's almost never cut and dry, right, when love is involved. Because there's love there, right? So I don't want to oversimplify this, like, and I feel like I couldn't oversimplify this even if I wanted to, because you can't always just walk away from people that you love, you know. And I think sometimes people make that sound like so simplistic and easy, like if your mom crosses your boundaries, cut her out of your life, you know. But it's like, you're probably going to be connected to that person for life. Or, you know, if your husband makes you mad, just leave. And it's like, there are extreme circumstances where that is the absolute one and only right choice. Don't get me wrong. If there's abuse involved, separate yourself, okay? Get therapy, whatever. Stop watching tarot, go get actual help. But for those non-extreme cases, it's not really quite that cut and dry, is it? Because love relationships require an element of internal growth. It's not always about the other person changing or behaving differently. It is a lot to do with also how we're behaving and thinking and vibrating in the relationship, whether it's a familial relationship or intimate love or whatever. And I feel like this is really complex, with whatever is showing up here. Because if it was simply as easy as walking away, you would have done it, right? Because I'm also getting Selena Gomez, The Heart Wants What It Wants, the song The Heart Wants What It Wants. Right? So the Four of Wands being here is like, well, could you establish perhaps a compromise or a different perspective, or change your vibration about whatever this is that you have going on, right? And the answer is always, undoubtedly, yes. You do always have control. Always, always. It is your free will to control your thoughts and your thoughts alone, and the way you feel, aka vibrate, about a situation. So let's go a little bit deeper then, and then I'm going to clarify some more. What else for Gemini? Ooh, yeah. Sorry, these are new to me, so I had to count those. Okay, Seven of Swords, Nine of Coins, Page of Coins. Oof, all of a sudden I'm sweating over here. Am I having a hot flash? Is that a thing? Three of Swords and the Lovers. So, who has disappointed you, Gemini? Who has hurt you? I get a sense of like a feeling like a no-win situation. Like you can't, some of you are very paranoid, or, you know, there's something very untrustworthy about something or someone that you're dealing with. And because it's a general, by the way, this could be someone feeling that way about you, but take it as it resonates. I just feel I'm dealing with Geminis right now that have been hurt or betrayed or gone through some sort of ending or loss here. Okay, whether that was, I was going to say within your control or not. Give me a second here. There is this sense of like wanting to communicate feelings, okay, whether that's coming from you or the person or people you're dealing with. But there's also this very independent energy here of, you know, standing on your own 2 feet and creating your own opportunities for yourself, right? Regardless of what happens in this situation or what this other person is doing. And sorry, I was getting a song. Something about change. It's not coming through anymore. Okay, some sort of change that needs to be made. And this is on a vibrational level, I feel. So there's a lot of fear here. There's a need to kind of move away from that lower level emotion, which I feel may be difficult for you to do, or for the person you are connecting with to do. But there is some sort of inspiration involved too. It's like once something comes to an end, there's an immense amount of energy, of positive energy that comes through, and then it equates to freedom. So some of you are literally cutting yourself free from maybe emotional bondages or karmic relationships during this time frame. Okay, but again, it's not always as simple as just cutting something out or someone. Some of you, it's a bit more complicated than that, and it has more to do with your own relationship with yourself and how you're choosing to view and feel about yourself in a relationship. And I'm going to give you like an example here. This is just an example. This is not predictive, but take it if it hits you right. Say you are you have a difficult relationship with your child or your parent. Okay, so this is a interfamily spiritual bond, right? This is somebody that is closely connected to you. So cutting loose of that connection is not logical or even maybe what you want, but you do want it to be a better flowing relationship, right? So the answer to that would not be to simply just cut your losses and walk away. It's deeper than that. It would be more about like going within and defining within yourself what you would like that relationship to look like, and to then flow love towards the connection in your mind during meditation, or just simply quieting your mind and letting yourself imagine it. Like, you need to imagine the connection how you would desire it to be in order for it to manifest. Because if you're not liking the current reality of the connection, and then you keep focusing and hammering down on that reality, then you keep getting more of that of which you're focused on, and it doesn't change, right? So in order for there to be a change in any connection in your life, you have to first change your perspective and your vibration about it to invite the change in. And so how do you do that? You look for the best aspects in that person, whether they see it in you or not. In your mind. This is all personal, internal, right? You look for the good in the connection as opposed to what you don't want or the bad, right? And you practice that. You practice that until you become very firm in it. And then every time you interact with that person, as you get more firm in looking for the good in the connection or the person, the relationship will incrementally begin to improve. People often see you how you see them. You know, you can't look at somebody with hate in your heart and expect them to see love in your eyes. It just doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Not saying you hate this person, Gemini, but and so often we do try to do that. When somebody disappoints us or they hurt us, we try to like hate them back into behaving better, and it just doesn't work that way. The more you push against someone, the more they push back energetically, because that's just how the law of attraction works. So the only way to repair any relationship or create a new pattern in a relationship is you must first change the pattern within yourself when you think about that person or as it pertains to that person. So this is all this reading is about to me, is changing vibrational patterns in a relationship. I'm getting a lot of family. For some of you, this is a child or a parent, but it could be an intimate partner. It could be a coworker you can't seem to get along with, or whatever. You know, somebody who hurt your feelings. Could be as shallow, I don't want to say shallow, as simple as that, or as deep as like, you know, this being somebody you're really, really intertwined with. I was going to do a separate relationship reading, but I feel like this is all relationships. I'm not getting a whole lot of messages about money, but I do have the 9 of Pentacles and the Page of Coins. So for those of you who are looking for creative outlets or entrepreneurship, side hustles, things of that nature, there is some sort of opportunity or idea that is coming your way, Gemini, that you may be able to profit from or to build off of. So be aware of that. But I feel like emotions is what's taking precedence right now. Your home, your family, your stability, how you feel, you know, and spending some time processing how you feel inside. I actually feel a lot of love here, but I also feel a need to communicate how you're feeling in an honest way. Because sometimes the 7 of Swords is dishonesty, right? So be honest with yourself and be honest with the people that you're dealing with. And if you've been hurt, sometimes it's best to talk about it or to meditate on it. But I feel a lot of intense emotion here, okay? And again, if this isn't you and you're like, I'm doing just fine, whatever, blah, 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 this either may not be a reading, or you could be dealing with somebody that is going to be showing up that has all of these qualities. They may be very emotional, have things going on and weighing on them, etc. So take it as it resonates. But let's go into the next portion of the reading, which is I'm switching it up. I am still going to do somewhat of a love reading, but I only want to do it from your perspective, not theirs. And I have my reasoning. I know some of you don't agree with that because you love the you versus them, but I've been doing it for 6 years, guys. I have got to try new things. I just have to. Sorry. I'm sure there's many other readers who will do it. But for me, I think we need to, as a collective, start focusing more on how we individually feel than how other people are perceiving us and what they may be thinking, what they may be up to. There's no power in that because you can't control that, right? So it's like, oh, good to know, but kind of not, because then you just dwell on it and there's nothing you can do, in my opinion. So this round, I'm just making it about you. It's all about you. So let's see which cards I want to use for this part. We are going to look at what Gemini needs to know when it comes to love relationships. This could be intimate love or platonic or familial, doesn't matter. Just whatever you need to know about relationships in general. Then I'm going to look at any barriers that may be in the way and advice. So, the Chariot, the 9 of Cups, and the 6 of Swords. So, I feel like there is movement forward here in whatever this connection is for you or whoever this is. There's Cancerian energy here for some of you. The card of success and the card of resolutions, right? Moving past something, getting over something. So, some of you are rapidly moving forward and feeling the success of that, feeling the freedom of that, and maybe moving past a more emotional or rocky time, just in general, or possibly within the connection of the person you are connecting with. And I have a lot of water energy here again, so certainly you could be dealing with the water sign, but I have air sign energy as well. Let's see, what are the possible blockages then? The Tower. The 2 of Cups. And the Ace of Swords. So there's like this disruptive but yet transformative energy coming through a soulmate connection here. Which is giving you a lot to think about and maybe to contemplate over. This is actually showing up in the barrier though, so don't overthink a situation here, Gemini. Hard not to do when we're air signs. I'm triple air sign, so I get it. But it's like, if there's resistance to change, they want you to be more open and allowing to that. And, you know, you're not a fixed sign, so I feel like typically you are open to change, but they also want you to be open to changing your mind and entertaining different perspectives as it comes to a connection. And then that was kind of the advice, but let's see. The overall advice, though, is the 8 of Pentacles, to continue to work on yourself. Sometimes this is kind of a self-isolating energy, but I feel like it's okay to be selfish right now, to work on self, to figure out what self wants, and to be kind to yourself, Gemini, in the process. So this is all about you, your goals, what you want for you, okay? And maybe this connection is somewhat standing in the way. I don't want to say it's standing in the way. It could be a barrier, right? Depending on how healthy the connection is. But there's some sort of change or transformation coming in. And again, I see you progressing. So good for you, Gemini. So let's see what the guidance cards have to say. And we'll leave it there. What are the guidance cards for my Geminis? Card number 1, my life is about my relationships. You will never find yourself in a point in time when the subject of relationships is not an active part of your now experience. For everything you perceive or notice or know is because of your relationship with something else. Without a comparative experience, you would be unable to perceive or focus any kind of understanding within yourself. Therefore, it is accurate to say that without relationships, you could not exist at all. So bless them all. Woo-wee! Wow, Gemini, I'm going to leave it there for now. Zodiac signs that you could be connecting with. I have Cancerian energy, Scorpio, Pisces, lots of water energy here, or that could be in your chart. I also had Taurus and Air, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. I have Sagittarius here. And let me look at these. Oh, and Pisces energy. Oh, I think I already said that. Yeah, those are the predominant signs that I'm seeing, but keep in mind it is a general reading, and Gemini energy, you certainly could be dealing with another Gemini. But take it as it resonated and leave what doesn't. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give me a like, share, and subscribe. Help me get to 200,000 this year. Fingers crossed. I'm getting closer every day. Also, follow me on Facebook. I'm trying to grow over there as well. I've been doing daily collective readings for free. So if you would like your daily reading, you can find me at Tarot Time with Dana on my Facebook and follow me there as well. Either way, I'm wishing you the very best. And until next time, my friends, namaste. Bye.